With all indices in the green, what's in store for tomorrow? I'll break it all down, but before that, there is the closing bell with the S&Ps finishing up about 45 points. We're just 13 points shy of hitting our upper edge in the SPX at 4,186. When we take a look at these futures, we trended up throughout the night and all into the day, seeing a very strong close here in the S&P futures. Just looking at it on the daily, we're putting in a new all-time high and it's just raging to the upside. That lift is largely due from the technology stock names. Over in the Nasdaq, we see the Nasdaq is putting in a new all-time high, giving some of that back. However, it's up over 1.5% today. Just taking a look at it on its expected move, 14,103 is our upper edge. So will we see that in tomorrow's tape? Maybe we do. And if we do break through that upper edge at around 14.1, we could be on our way to about 1.5 sigma, and that would be at 14.25, so 14,250 if we do get some boost. However, it's going to be largely up to what the bonds want to do if we want to break to the upside even more, because just taking a look at the 30-year bond, they're up 1%. So we clearly see the bonds are starting to break out here. Are we going to see some continuation in the bonds? But due to the bonds breaking out, when we look at the 10-year yield, it's down over 6.5% and on its way to 1.5%. So this 1.7 played some strong area of resistance. We're coming back down to 1.5. Maybe we hug this area for a bit. However, with the yields falling, I do want to point out the Russell 2000 is still in the green. It's up about 0.5%. Largely due to a lack of technology in there, as well as some financials that's slowing it down. But I want to point out, taking a look at these VIX futures, they're down over 5%. But when we look at the VIX index, it's down about 3%. And then the VVIX is sitting at plus 1.5%. So the VIX futures are a bad read because it's a slow duration, and the VIX spot isn't the best index as well. So when we look at the VVIX, that means volatility from a later date is being bid up. And just taking a look at this thing, it got some nice bid going into the close, which could signal a slower day into tomorrow's tape. However, judging how we got bought up in the European session, maybe we continue to get bought up overnight. And if we do, we could be opening up in the S&P right around this 4186, potentially hugging that area. Maybe we fade as the day goes on. It's all going to come down to what the bonds want to do. So we see what's going on in our indices, what's going on in our sectors. And leading the way today, the XLK broader tech is up 1.75%. When we compare that to the big five, it's up 1.6%. So it's slightly lagging the broader tech. However, it's still up a significant amount. We even see the healthcare stocks up 1.7%, and they are breaking to the upside. So healthcare is getting a breakout here. We see technology breaking to the upside. We even have software stocks that are up 1.4%, still have some room to go. So maybe software wants to join this rally. We see consumer staples today up 0.8%, putting in a new all-time high. Even the industrials up about 0.4%, knocking on the door to all-time highs. However, it's those financials, they're flat today, down 9 basis points, which isn't too bad when you have the 10-year yield falling over 6%. The banks were holding up today as we see these financials fighting for green. They're not rolling over completely, which was a reason why we saw all our indices in the green. However, it was the XLE today that was down almost 1%. So you can clearly see today, you see the growth name stocks leading the way, even healthcare stock competing with them. However, it's those value names, the industrials fighting for green, financials and energy kind of in the red. So just taking one more look at this, you can see 80-20 today in the S&P 100. That was largely due to the financials and energy lagging, which brought some of these S&P 100 names down. But you can see growth stocks are leading the way and the value names are towards the bottom with the industrials in the green. We'll see what the bonds can bring in tomorrow's tape. So we see what's happening in bonds and equities. What's going on with the dollar and our commodities? And taking a look at the dollar index, it's down about 5 basis points. So with falling yields, the dollar is just flat on the day. It's not rolling over completely. However, when we look at some commodities, we see crude oil today up about 1/3%, trying to continue this rally that it just got from a breakout. We see gold today up 1.7%, trying to break out here at 1765. Gold is on its way to 1800. It's going to be a pretty big move for this metal. We'll see if it can continue into Friday. And last but not least, we have Bitcoin today up 2.4%, knocking on the door to all-time highs. I want to show you some of my charts. We take a look at the Coinbase chart. On the 4-hour, we can see it's getting a nice move right now. Remember, the 17th is a Saturday. I'm expecting some big moves. Nothing to see else on this chart. When I look at the Binance chart, 64.3 will play some resistance. We could potentially be seeing this level in the night session. And then we have my Bitstamp chart. Not really near anything on this chart. So it's mainly this Binance chart and seeing if we can get to 64.3 overnight. If we do, we could potentially be hitting new all-time highs as we head into the weekend. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. So with the bonds getting a rally beneath it, it sparked the growth name stock today as the Nasdaq led the way up over 1.5%. It dragged the S&Ps up with it, and even value name stocks kind of hung in there. So going into tomorrow, it's going to be interesting if the bonds can continue rallying, and if so, it's going to send the Nasdaq even higher. Remember, 14.1K in the Nasdaq is our upper edge, and if we do breach that move, we could be looking at 14,250 as our 1.5 standard deviation. But it's all going to come down to what the bonds want to do. Seeing the VVIX bid up in the final minutes is a concern, but who knows how the overnight session trades. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like to show some support. If you're watching me for the first time, I do these breakdowns daily. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me if you guys can do that. But any comments or questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. Where do you think the market's going tomorrow? But on that note, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Take care. Peace!